Alright, hello there guys and gals. This is Power Boss with your next episode 14 of Minecraft Eternal. I know it's been a while since I've properly played a session, but hopefully I can fix that today. And I'm going to start things off right by using my handy dandy clipboard that I made ages ago. So, in this episode, we are going to show the results of what my mine colonies from last episode has advanced to so far. I made an off-camera ME system and a couple floors up and down cleared out to do so. I'm going to attempt to see if I have the materials for auto-crafting the mechanism alloys. It's also a cheaper way of making steel. And then, hopefully by the end of the episode today, I am going to work on getting Astral Sorcery started. So, let's begin, shall we? So, as you know, this is the front of my base. I can technically take all these cactus and move them downstairs because I have all of those garden cloches producing. I have since changed this to spawn juggernauts, which gets me my blaze rods and a few other things. And eventually I'll probably make another one for Endermen specifically, because, I'm going to want those wireless crafting cards. I still have my same setup over here. Yeah, got all this going on over here. Everything's backed up. Got my GP here. Got my immersive engineering coke oven and crude blast furnace there. My tinker smeltery here. Just a little bit over the hill is where I made my mine colonies. So, as you can see, I haven't done any upgrading. Oops, didn't mean to fall there. Fixed my building. I had to move it over 2 spaces because it was kind of overlapping the fence line here. But that's all rebuilt. I got my warehouse here, my delivery man there, my builder's hut here. I got a lumberjack over this way that I kind of bypassed a little bit. As you can see, the lumberjack is needing something. He needs an axe to continue working. And if I do more details, it has to be any sort of axe of wood or gold level with a maximum level of stone. So that's there. Everything is still all only level 1. Here's my builder's hut. It's still nothing special. I got my first house built here, which is for my builder. So if I go in here, hi Hunter, there you go. He's just chilling. I don't have any work for him at the moment. And then I did kind of make a little bit of a passageway this way to where I have a second house built. And I don't know who's claimed this one yet. Betty Church. I think Betty Church is my delivery person. So I do not yet have a house for either my lumberjack or my fisher. I'm going to eventually have to build about 3 more houses before I even start working on upgrading, because I'm going to need 2 for the lumberjack and the fisherman, and then I'm going to build a farm, and okay, I'm going to need 5 more houses because I'm going to need to build a farm, the restaurant, and the smithy somewhere. Incidentally, this is built on a gaping hole right over here. As soon as my system catches up, and I'll show you. And I think this is actually part of the system that is underneath my base as well. So yeah, it extends way out here. Oh, come on. Sorry, it is being ridiculous right now. There we go, now it's caught up. If I look right down here, yes, I have a pathway over here that leads to that second house. And then down here, if I go down, there's all these vines. I can just use my hand and clear a whole bunch of them. I found the special enemy right here. I think it was a troll. And I just kind of killed him. It wasn't really anything special. And as you can see, got some stuff down that way as well. I gotta eat some foods. Actually, I got some special foods here that I have not yet eaten. And as you can see, I have eaten at least all of these. These are just something as an alternative to cheese, but I do have a bit extra cheese stored in here, so I'm not really hurting for it. So let's go back out. Let's go back to my base. This way. And I don't know if you can tell or not, but I did build a few levels up on my base. If I go all the way up, it's actually pretty much almost at cloud level. Okay, I still need to get another sheep, but I may forego that and just get myself a sheep seed so I can get the wool. As you'll notice here, I have a new handy-dandy item, laser relays. It's on my actual barrel connector, which is connecting all of these, and that is also connected to my simple storage network. And you can see that it goes downwards. So let's go take a look at downwards. I'll show you what I got going on. I filled out this whole room, as you can see. This whole side is yet empty, and I think only this first one has the infinite upgrade for the barrel on it. I haven't made the rest, but as you can see, I put barrel connectors on the top of each of them, all going to the center, and yeah, basically can connect to everything in all of these barrels. If I go down a little bit further, I cleared off this big area, nice, and you know, I increased my setup for production of energy over here, but they are limited by both the gas conduits and the advanced universal cables. Plus, they're also limited by the advanced energy cube. But I'm getting plenty of power. As you can see, if I click on it, it's got 3.2 million RF stored, but it can only transfer out 1.28 thousand per tick. But it's more than enough to keep my system going. I haven't changed the setup. It's all still here. Now let's go ahead and get this mined up while I'm here. Some iron over on this side. Got some copper over here. And we got some service quartz over here. And I'll fill these holes in later. Oh, look at that. More quartz ore. And I can fill those in later. If I go down again, normally this would be how do I get down to bedrock, and there's a big cave system underneath. I did a little bit of clearing out down here too. Not much, but there's some more stuff to collect. As you can see, you know, it comes down here. I filled that in later too. Here's some sapphire that I found. And eventually I'll probably mine out all this slate to open up this room as well for something. But for right now, it's just a room. I'm not going to use it for anything yet. And then, of course, that's my way into the dungeon out that way. And then, of course, I added stairs finally. So all of this is easily traversable now. And then over there I have a mob slaughter factory for pink slime eventually. So let's go on upwards and show you the rest of everything. As you know, I moved my bed up here. I built some more energy storage from my flux network. It's now 9 million, and that's not including what's in the buffer. And you'll notice that I moved my brewing stand and arcane workbench from over in the corner, and I built some stairs up. As you can see, there's another item laser relay here in the center, and the machines over here are gone, but they're not gone. I just moved them. I built a powered anvil over here so I could repair some things as I need to. I don't really need to repair. Oh yeah, I can repair some stuff real quick while I'm here. Kind of gonna take them off my bars over here apparently. But hey, it's now 525 of 525 durability for that. And then I can just leave my helmet in there and it'll slowly repair itself as it gets RF. It's slow, but it works. And I can just leave it in there for a moment. I did, however, also finally get the night vision upgrade onto that, so no longer will you have to see me fumbling around in darkness on stream. Let's just go ahead and put all these away because I don't need them on me. Put my pants back on. And then just wait for my powered anvil to finish repairing this. Yeah, I'll come back to that later. There we go. I remember my night vision button. So let's take a gander at what I did upstairs. So I made this room. Nothing in here at the moment, as you can see. Another item laser relay, so let's go up again. Simple, another 4 high room item laser relay. And then here's where the stuff really starts to get interesting. I built this. So, as you can see, the item laser relay comes up to here into the Actually Editions item interface. You can thank Emperor, one of the developers of this mod pack, to tell me about this box, which allows it to check anything from the item laser relay, which is connected to all those barrel connectors down below. And then there's a storage bus here, which lets it see the network. And it's also configured to extract only, so things won't go back downwards into the extra barrels down there. So it's not used as extra storage for the entire set of wall of garden clutches that have nothing in them. I built 3 ME controllers, as you can see here. And as you can see, my system is fluctuating with power on, power off. Let me see if I can fix that. Flux points. Here we go. So let's go ahead and put this on the bottom right there. Or right there. That works too. Now you can see that it's perfectly powered and working. Cables, just a couple terminals, and then I got some advanced inscribers finally, and they're powered. And as you can see, it says in the upper left they're sleeping, but they have power from the system. As you can see here, this has what's called an ME Smart cable, just plain Fluix. I haven't color coded anything. Do note that if you color code things, they will not cross. So if I were to put, say, a red one in this square, it won't connect to either of these two. But if I were to put another regular Smart Fluix cable here, then they will connect. But you don't want to do that if you can help it. Crossing your lines is very bad. The ME controller itself, once you can build them, is able to be 7 wide by 7 long by 7 high. But you don't want to fill it in as just one big block. You can, but the more faces of each side that you can see, the better, because each face holds 32 channels, whereas as you can see here, this only has 8. and I'll show you some other little tricks that I did with this little P2P tunnel here that I finally had some trouble getting working. But it was my own fault. I have my lava fabricator up here changed, and it's not pulling any power right now because I have it turned off, into a black hole tank that you can see has 192,000 millibuckets worth of lava in, and as you can see the numbers going down, which is going into my magnetic dynamo, still being filled with 4,000 buckets at a time, producing power directly into my ME system. So if for whatever reason my flux network is drained of its 9 million, it's not going to be completely shut off. But as you saw, it does flicker. Eventually I'm going to take these energy cells. I did upgrade it to a dense energy cell, and just by touching from one to the other or on the other side of the energy acceptor, the actual internal buffer of the system will be allowed to keep power at least for a little bit longer. Excuse me. I moved my growth chamber over here, so this turns all of my 3 seeds into pures, which is the Certus quartz, the nether quartz, and the fluix. And now you see I have these funky interfaces here. So what do they do? Well, I'm going to show you. First, I'm going to show you the crafting terminal. This is probably the first and most important one that you're going to make. Oh, thank you, Emperor. I guess I misspoke on that. He was saying that the energy cells, the dense energy cells at the top, this little guy right here that's filled with power, doesn't have to be connected to the actual acceptor. It can be anywhere on the network to hold the power. So that's a little good tidbit of information that he told me. Also, those do not take channels. So just keep that in mind. While there is no free channels with the AE system, there are very few exceptions like the energy acceptor, the energy cells, and the molecular assemblers that do not take any sort of channels. So I touched a little bit on that, but if you need help more on that, I can go into more detail. Anyway, the crafting terminal. It's the first terminal that you're probably going to make. So if I do applied, to search only applied energistics mod, and then do terminal, as you can see over here on JEI, it shows a crafting terminal, a fluid terminal, an interface terminal, a pattern terminal, and just a regular ME terminal. This is the same as this, except this one, as you can see here, has an actual crafting grid that you can use. And it allows you to use it just like the simple storage network or your crafting table, where you can do a 3x3 pattern instead of a 2x2, or as this one, it doesn't allow you to craft at all. It's just to access everything in your storage. The pattern terminal I'll show you next. It's on the side. I do not have a fluid terminal yet. And then there's the interface terminal, which I also have. So the only other one I don't have is this one, the security terminal, which has 2 functions. The first function is that you can build one of these guys or one of the better ones, which I'll get to in a minute, that allows you to link it on your security terminal or any other player that will have access to your network. Depending on which one of these wireless terminals they have is what they have access to. These wireless terminals are essentially these ME terminals but wireless once it's linked, and then the security terminal of course will take up a channel somewhere in your network. The other function of the security terminal is to allow players to either allow or lock out other players from messing with your network. So keep that in mind. If I back this up a little bit and I do wireless, no, that didn't work. Let's just do it this way. I'm not seeing it. Why am I not seeing it? There's a little device that goes along with these that allows you to also link it infinitely over any distance and dimension, but it takes a little bit more doing to do so, which is these little guys right here, wireless booster cards, which are dropped from Enderman. And as you can see here, there's also P2P tunnels for redstone. I'm not going to go into all the different specifics. I'm just going to use the plain basic ME tunnel version of it. But yeah, you have your same inputs and outputs, storage bus, fluids inputs and outputs, and storage bus, things like that. And as you can see with applied energistics, there's a whole 2 pages worth of things that you can craft. That's just this. And my game exited on me. Well, that wasn't fun. So much for that. On the right side, I have my interface terminal, which when I can get back in, I'll show you what that looks like. But basically, any interfaces that's connected on your network, you can basically interact with them directly there. And I'll show you why, when I get back into the game and go up a floor, why that's important. On the left side is my pattern terminal, which does exactly what it says. It can create patterns, either processing or crafting recipes, that you can put into your interfaces to set up auto crafting. And I'll show you examples of those. As soon as this lets me get back in. I'm working on it, folks. I'm trying. And I'll show you also some of the things that I set up for auto crafting already, mostly minor basic stuff, and I'll show you why. And then I'll show you some more examples of what I've done. I'm not going to do any auto crafting yet, mainly because I don't have the processors built, which only have to be a cube. They can be rectangular, but they have to be equal, either in depth, in height, or in width. So you can't just have, well, you can just have one square, but you're not going to really do anything with it. But at the same time, it allows for multiple patterns to be processed at once. It allows for things of that nature to go on simultaneously. And you always want more than one. Usually 2 or 3 of them is probably decent. Each one of them, as a multi-block, takes 1 channel per processing unit. As soon as I get back in game here, I'll show you all this stuff. It's wanting me to go back in. Come on. A little bit more. Alright, what are you doing? My computer's making me out to be a liar. It's stuck on logging in. What the hell? Come on. Okay, what just happened? It made me a liar. Why is it disconnecting and not reconnecting now? Got a little technical difficulties, folks. Sorry. There we go. Well, it's wanting to come back up. It's getting there. There we go. Okay, so as I was explaining before, I have the interface terminal here, and basically patterns that I've made, I put in each of them. You can name them. As you can see, it's automatically named with the ones that are immediately adjacent to the network, or to the machine. Crystal growth chamber, as you saw, is right over here. My advanced inscribers are all on this back wall. And then, as you can see, I have molecular assemblers already. This one is just right here above me. And there's just a whole bunch of space, and I'll show you why. Okay, but first, the pattern terminal. It looks similar to a crafting terminal, except that you can't actually craft things in this, I don't think. But you can make a nonsensical pattern if you really wanted to. It's just not going to work. But as you can see how it shows craft enriched alloy, fluid storage housing, Certus quartz tank. If I were to go back onto this side, and I'll just pull out this one pattern that I've encoded so far, and you can see what's on it either by mousing over and seeing the tooltip. As soon as my computer stops being dumb. Come on. What are you doing? I promise, folks, it's not usually this bad. There we go. As you can see, it says it's an encoded pattern that creates one pure fluix crystal with one fluix seed. If I were to drag and drop that back up in here, it loads the pattern that I have. And this is where you change it between processing and crafting. And if it was a blank pattern, or if I wanted to change it up and use the same one, you just hit the little down arrow to encode it again. And then you just clear it out. And you can pull things from your inventory up here of anything stored in your actual network to make the patterns. But you actually have to have the pattern for it, or else you can use JEI. But JEI doesn't always work. Very few circumstances where it doesn't, but just be aware that putting it in manually, if the pattern is correct, does work. Okay, and as you can see, if I move around to the back here, I have my system going upwards. So let's go take a look at the top floor right now. Up here, I built a brick. As you can see, I have a handy dandy little P2P tunnel here, and as you see, it shows 32 channels coming out. But if you look, there's only one channel here. That's because the P2P tunnel takes up one channel. But then where's the 32 going? Well, if you look, it has a frequency on it, 3A, 3A. And if I come over here to the side, I have it running through the center, where I alternate between interfaces and then surrounded on all sides by molecular assemblers. The interface can go onto each of the surrounding assemblers to craft whatever's inside of it. The reason why you want the co-crafting processing units is because if, say, this one interface right here has, say, one pattern in it of turning redstone into redstone blocks. If I don't have any co-crafting processing, it's only going to utilize one of these molecular assemblers rather than all the ones that are touching it. You know, that's this side too. If this one and this one have patterns that conflict, then this one is just going to choose one of them at random and take priority of whichever one you set first. Eventually, you know, one will go in, one will come out, and you'll actually see what's crafting on the inside of it, of the molecular assemblers. As you can see also over here, I have another P2P tunnel. This one frequency is EC56, and this one also has 32 channels. But if you notice, as I move down the line, the numbers get smaller of what's being transferred through. As you can see, I built my ME drives. Those actually need to go away. Those shouldn't be there. But it's 8 high. That's going to bug me up there too, isn't it? Yeah, I'll get that one gone. Just a little minor fix, folks. There we go. Now it looks alright. So what do these ME drives actually do? Well, if you see over here, I've got one little green light on this one. If I open it up, I have a 1K ME storage cell. So the way the system works for Applied Energistics is you can have any amount of these storage cells, up to 10 of them, in one drive. Great, right? Well, each one of them can only hold 63 types of items. So if they stack, that's one type. If they don't stack, like say my paper obsidian hammer, if I were to duplicate it and it has durability, and I were to put both of them into the system, these won't stack. So then this would read 2 of 63 types instead of 1. But then, given how many it stacks up to, 64 in most cases, it can actually go above the 64 limit within the system as long as it's the same type. So if I were to fill in 1,000 redstone dust, then it'll say 1 of 63 types, and then depending on how much bytes one redstone takes up, it's going to accumulate up to the limit of 1024 because this is only a 1K. There are several different types of levels of storage cells. There are separate ones for fluids, separate ones for gases, separate ones for, well, not just those three: fluid, gas, and items. And let me get these gone because, yeah, I don't need those. But you're never really going to need more than 63, or excuse me, 32 channels of storage drives. And if you do, then it's probably on a network with multiple people playing and using the same drive. Remember I was talking about that security terminal? People can deposit different things from different areas. So how do these P2P tunnels work? Well, it basically takes all the channels going into it, and as you can see, the tooltip says that this device is online and it's an output side, which means everything coming in here goes outwards into your system. It's the best way of putting it. And as you can see, the device is online. If I were to go back down, oh, and also if you look down here, see how it says 2 of 8? That's one P2P channel, 2 P2P channel. So let's go back down to my MCE controller down here. And as you can see, I've got one ME controller face with one of the tunnels directly onto it. But as I said before, it requires a channel. So hence 1 of 8 right here next to it. If I were to put a quartz cable, which you see up here, which I don't know how that got there, but okay, then it transmits only power, not channels. But a P2P tunnel requires a channel, so that doesn't work for here. There are circumstances and ways of utilizing that. You can use your imagination, but just know that you have to have a P2P tunnel transferred through a channel. But as you can see, it's directly on the interface, and each face holds 32 channels. And as you can see also on the tooltip, it says input side 3A3A, which means that is all of my molecular assemblers and interfaces on the 1. And if I come around to the back side, same thing, same concept. This one says EC56, which is all of the ME drives. This little handy dandy guy is the wireless access point. This basically says, okay, when the security terminal is connected, this allows you to reach it from wireless. Okay? And as you can see here also, I have all of the patterns for my logical circuits, my processors, and things like that. And I left in my inscribers locked so it doesn't come out each of the patterns: silicon, calculation, logic, engineering, and empty. Why do you say that? Well, if you come over here and look at these patterns, printed silicon is made with 1 silicon and 1 inscriber press. The inscriber press, technically subnets still have channels, but they're hard capped to 8 globally. I'm not talking about subnets, I'm talking about actual physical nets. Subnets are something I'm not going to go into because it's literally a pain. If you want to watch a video on that, be my guest, but I'm not doing it. I had enough trouble setting this up because I was stupid and tried to do it. And I'll admit that, I was stupid. It took me like 2 days to figure this out too. So I don't want to hear it. As I was saying, it says that it takes the inscriber silicon press, but because we left it inside the inscriber, it's actually not in the pattern. And as you can see, it's the same thing with all of these. So why do I have the last one empty? Well, because the last one, to make the processing unit, takes those printed circuits from the previous, and it makes these 3 into the processors instead of just the circuits. And as you can see, that's printed silicon, redstone, and whatever of the circuit it corresponds to. And the inscribers are smart. it'll go in. So if I were to go over here to my crafting terminal, and let's say I wanted one of each of them. Well, I can't exactly do it right now because I don't have any computer processor set up. But if I were to come say, one engineering processor, I can do 1, 10, 100, 1000. Can't do negative. But then if you click next, and my game froze again apparently. Oh, nope, there it goes. Nope, shoot. Yeah. Let's try that again. Engineering processor, next. It shows you what it takes to craft it, and it does count the lesser patterns too. And I'm going to have to change those out because I left the presses on the patterns. But then once it has a diamond and silicone and enough redstone, it'll be able to make the engineering circuit, the printed silicon, and then the engineering processor itself. So let's go and show you how to edit these since I did these wrong. I'm going to take these 3 out, or excuse me, 4 out, because I don't need the presses in them because I'm leaving them in the actual inscribers. We come over here to our pattern terminal, and this is a process, not a craft. So we load it up one at a time, and as you can see, it shows 1 gold ingot will turn into 1 printed logic circuit using one of the press. So you shift click and take it out. I think you just regular click, and then you click encode again, and it takes it out. Put in the next one, it loads the pattern. Yeah, you just click it and it takes it out. But then you have to remember to encode it again to fix it. And we'll do this for all 3 of them. Excuse me, 4 of them. I don't know why I keep saying 3. And then you can just clear it. Simple as that. Then we go back over here to our interface and we just put them back all in. So what's the config up at the top for? Well, if I have the materials to make it, I will show you what those are for. I'm going to be automating the mechanism alloys, which if I come over here and look, there is the enriched alloy, the atomic alloy up here, and somewhere down here is the reinforced alloy. The atomic alloy is the heaviest of them, but as you can see, it takes 1 atomic alloy, 1 reinforced alloy, and 1 enriched alloy, and 1 iron to be able to make it. Technically, if I had the setup for this, it would work. Now, just note that for the 3 alloys, there are 2 ways of making them. So if I were to pull up here, mechanism alloys, it shows just 3 of them. So for, just say the enriched alloy, that is as simple as a metallurgic infuser to an iron ingot. Simple enough. But then for the reinforced alloy, it takes a little bit more. And for the atomic alloy, it takes even more. And this metallurgic infuser setup is what I'm going to be automating. And like I said, I'm not going to be doing it now because I don't know if I have all the materials needed for it. But remember all those barrel connectors with the garden cloches down below. If I look and I make sure that I show either stored and craftable or at least the stored, see I have all these carrots. And if you hold your mouse over them, it shows you at the bottom 14,849 stored. So as that fills up from the garden cloche into the infinite Java barrel, see it just went up from what it was to 851. And that's the same for anything down there. Now the blank patterns I have stored in the system, I put a few other things in here, but notice that all of these things, while they are in the barrels, are not part of the storage in the 1K drive upstairs. But if I wanted to say craft grains of infinity, I have 5 grains of infinity essence to make 8 grains of infinity for 1 pattern. Again, I have no crafting CPUs available, so I can't actually start the process. I do have those auto-craftable. I just have to make my first unit so that I can start auto-crafting them. And again, you can use JEI to search things like crafting unit. I can do it up here. There we go. And as you can see, a regular crafting unit, that's the pattern. Crafting co-processing unit, that's the pattern. And if I were to do this, if I add the materials in here, I'd be able to do it. But I'm not going to showcase that right now. So as I said, from my handy dandy notepad earlier, I showed this all off. I will look into see if I have the materials to make the factories. And I'm thinking on this wall right here, I'm going to build two sets of them. I'm going to build one going to the right and one going to the left. I'm going to have an interface and a flux plug in the center, so that way it can get both power and connection to my system. And it's going to be about 10 machines total, so 10 interfaces. Now this can only hold 8. I can do another P2P tunnel and show you how that's done, or I can just change these to dense cables. I don't know. I can probably put an anchor on here, build this down a little bit, maybe out a little bit, put another anchor cable there, and I can use this one spot for multiple P2P tunnels as long as it doesn't exceed 32, because each phase can take 32. But if I'm going to only use it for 10 machines here, I don't really need 32, but I need more than 8. So what do I need to make the auto crafting for the infusers and enrichments? Well, I can take these off here, all those off there, and I don't know why that's there. And I still don't have what I need for an atomic disassembler. As you can see, it takes those enriched alloys and one atomic alloy. I'll need to make energy tablets and refined obsidian ingots, which we'll get to eventually. But I want to make first an infuser. So the metallurgic infuser is what I have outside. Okay, if I take that and then I want to upgrade it, it goes into a basic infusing factory, which I'm going to take. I'm going to probably grab the one from down there because it's used in the crafting pattern. Then, after I get this crafted 4 times, I can eventually try to use Advanced and the Elite. And Elite's the last level. There's nothing after the Elite. Okay? But as you can see, it takes both elite control circuits and reinforced alloys. The elite control circuits are just advanced control circuits and more reinforced alloys, and for that you need basic control circuits, and for that, that's osmium, which is going to be another metallurgic infuser. So we're actually going to want 5 metallurgic infusers. However, we can technically still only use 4 because, as you can see, this uses redstone. And as you see, it's also 3 different things that can power the infuser. You have redstone, blocks of redstone, and compressed redstone. Compressed redstone is the ideal. So that's that. What I want to do first is go outside. Let me grab my Akashic Tome, because what I'm going to get started on today is Astral Tome for Astral Sorcery. So as you can see, it says research in constellations. Apparently I've already found 2. if you go into Discovery, you can either double click it or just use your scroll wheel and zoom in, and it gives you a few basic things here. So the first thing it says is a resonating wand. This is where you start. It shows you the pattern, how to craft it. It takes any sort of marble, some aquamarine, an ender pearl, and another aquamarine. So we're going to go and see if we can craft that. So let's see. Resonating wand. We just need the first level. Okay, so as you can see, we have the 2 aquamarines and the ender pearl. And if I'm not mistaken, inside my handy dandy dank null, I do have marble. So we're just going to take out 2 marbles. I know this is a little messed up. You can't see everything that I have in here. I'm sorry. It's not my fault. Dank null is screwy. Why is that not working? Does it have to be chiseled marble, I guess? Oh, plus starlight. Gotcha. So let's go ahead and take these out. Let's go back and grab our marble. Oh, we do have marble in here. Okay. We only need 2 for now. And we'll need a crafting table. And we got a handy dandy crafting table on a stick, but I'm not going to use that one. I even have a crafting table pad if I really wanted to. We're going to make an actual plain wood crafting table, and I'll show you why. I'm not going to worry about making the luminous crafting table yet. You can hush. I'm going to go through this by the book as it shows in the manual. Thanks. One crafting table, that's all we need. I'm going to put that up here. Alright. So we have the materials for the resonating wand. We just need to actually make sure that we get where we're going. And if we look back here, it says that we need ores, aquamarine shales. We got lucky, we actually have some. So we don't need to worry about that just quite yet. But there's a reason that it's showing the ores there. There's ancient shrines, which, if you remember correctly, I have one marked way out in the distance over in that direction, 3,000 meters away. That is the nearest. And then constellation papers. Once I have the actual luminous crafting table built, which I'm going to get to because it's on the first page, you take your resonating wand and this pattern. So we need a parchment, 3 more aquamarines, and just any old random plain book. So let's go ahead and grab that as well. A book. We've got 22 of them, so why not? We're going to grab some more aquamarines. Oh, I guess we don't have any more aquamarines. So I got lucky with the 2 that I have. And parchment. Which is going to take 1 of our aquamarines. So we're not going to do that just quite yet. But in order to find more aquamarines, we have to just go out into the world and find riverbanks and things like that. I found the two that I have over across the way at my mine colonies in the river where my fisher is. So I'm going to go and see if I can get that real quick. Just to get a few more aquamarines going. Just right over here. Typically in water, usually around sand, is where the aquamarines will spawn. And use a shovel to dig it up. And of course this is covered in ice, so that's not good. Got some slate over here. Let's dig more sand anyway. So no more aquamarines over here. Yeah, there's some right down there. Look, some clay. And we got clams over here. Throwing my shurikens underwater takes breath. Hey, Mr. Guy, fisherman. Alright. Let's see if we can find any more shales down here real quick. While we're here, you know. Apparently there's some stuff underneath right here. And we can take this iron ore with us as well. I really need to make a snorkel. Alright. Yeah, there's definitely some sort of a dungeon down there, as you can tell. Alright, let's get more sand over here. Okay. It's always good to have sand, right? Alright, so how much? We got 7 aquamarines. That should be good enough, I think. What do we take for aqua seeds? Oh, you can actually get the V seeds for Thom. That might be something for later. So we need 4 of them. We need 2 for the resonating wand, and we need 1 for the parchment. So we have just enough. I don't know, are the rest of the V seeds in here? Oh yeah, they're all in here. That can save you a lot of time and effort, but not really fun when exploring Thom, I think. I'd probably only do it for the 6 base ones. Okay. Let's check over this way a little bit, see if there's any more. I don't know what makes these clams, but they are annoying. Okay. Just mining out in this river. Having some fun collecting some resources, right? Whoa, where'd he come from? Primals are plentiful when you get a certain device. Primals, essentially the 6 base types. Oh dear, got a roguelike dungeon down there. So, yeah, I know. The entrance to it's actually in the middle of my gaping hole over there in the middle of my mine colonies village. So let's go ahead and deposit some of this stuff real quick. I don't need these in my inventory. I'm going to keep that though. Let's go get the rest of the sand. The guy just flew out of the wall out of nowhere, didn't he? Let's just bypass this little bit of an area. I'm not ready to venture into roguelike dungeons just quite yet. Yeah, I know, I hear them all down there. I just know one of these days I'm going to dig right into it doing this. That's always fun, finding a new entrance to things like that. And I almost forgot. I need to take out another stack of cheese. Eventually, I'm going to upgrade my stupid shovel to unbreakable, along with my axe. But mainly I'm doing this to look for more stuff. Ooh, look at the big fishy. It's a sturgeon. Let's kill it. Big fishy. There we go. Always good to collect bead crystals, right? Oh, look at this small little dungeon outcropping over here. Some more iron. That'll be good. Some more crystals. Yeah, I don't want to venture in here yet. I just came over here for the salt ore. And as you can see, it's now getting dark as I have a handy dandy night vision mod. Or installment. Not a mod. Fish. Fish is good. Alright. Any more aquamarine along this pathway? Doesn't look like it. Well, I can always use sand and clay. What kind of tree is this? A maple wood. You know what? Let's get it. Oh, we got a dimensional door structure right here. That'll be fun to venture in later. Again, let's deposit all of our extra additives that we don't need to keep onto us, because we don't need it filling up our inventory. Alright, so let's go ahead and make our way down. Oh, look at this. I did not see this one here before, so it looks like I have an astral sorcery temple closer. So, when starting with astral sorcery, these are the structures that you want to look at. You want to find them and basically break this entire upper part. And I'll tell you why you want to do that. But not right now. Let's just work on getting it all collected for the moment. Okay. I'll also go into my JEI so I can change the location from the one that is marked to this one, because that'll come in quite handy later. Okay, so first thing you want to do, go ahead and take a piece of dirt, and right on the top of this block you're going to stop this water source. Then you can just break that and pick it back up. Okay. And basically what you want to do is break that, and as you can see there's a floating crystal right down here. I'm standing right on top of it. Now inside this room also you have 4 more pieces of dirt to place. Because, yeah, water's just annoying in here. Okay. Let's get this out of our bar. Let's put away all of this extra marble. Alright. And we got a lucky chest here. Emerald, constellation paper that there's nothing on, some resources. And if you want, you can also take the chest. You could even take down these 4 pillars if you wanted to. And there's always 2 chests, so here's the second one. Oh, look at that. Extra aquamarine. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set my waypoint to change this one. Turn that one off, turn that one off. Let's just make a new one. And make it white. Okay, there, now it's marked. So, what do you do with this and how do you get started? Well, first thing you need to do is place down the crafting table. We brought one along. And it just has to be directly underneath the floating crystal block. Okay? Let's go ahead and get rid of our extra additives that we just picked up because we don't need them, right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to go onto the crafting table and we're going to build the pattern for the resonating wand that we had. As you can see, easy enough because it has starlight. It's directly below it. Now what does this wand do? Well, it allows you to find what's called rock crystals. And we're going to need a few of those before we do much else. If we go back to our handy dandy tome, the last thing that we're going to need is sooty marble and luminous crafting table. We got a plenty of the marble, we got a couple of the ores, which is the aquamarines, we found the ancient shrine, which is what this structure is, and we even have a few constellation papers. But now what do we need for the luminous crafting table? That's next. Well, we need marble bricks of any sort of a crafting table, and 1 sooty marble. So how do you get the sooty marble? Surround a piece of coal with a whole bunch of marble. Okay, where's that? Okay, that worked. Actually, let's use regular marble bricks. There. We only need the 1 for now. I don't know why JEI wasn't loading it, but it is what it is. So, for the luminous crafting table, we need the 1 sooty marble, rune marbles, the crafting table, so we're going to need another crafting table, and then just some more marble. So let's go ahead and make ourselves another crafting table. And also take note, if you look again, this one does not need starlight. But it does say that first it needs to be placed somewhere above the ground with an unobstructed view of the sky in order to collect the starlight. That's why we made the hole. And of course you can widen this hole if you want to. Matter of fact, I'm going to. At least a little bit. But now we go in here, place our sooty marble, our crafting table, and I forgot to grab more marble. Silly me. I think it can be any type of marble. It doesn't have to be any specific brand of marble. It does show other types, but there you go. And voila, we now have our luminous crafting table. And it says your vision expands, you learn more about exploration. So now if we go back into our astral tome, here's our discovery tab that we were looking at, all of this. And if we just zoom out using the scroll wheel and then move down, there's this new one that popped up. And if you zoom in on it or double click on it, it brings this one up. Now these are all recipes that are made through the new luminous crafting table. And that can be placed anywhere. You can bring this back to your base, which we're going to do, and place it. But it's talking about rock crystals and properties, light well, and the starlight crafting altar. So what do we want to do first? Well, the first thing we want to do is start gathering our starlight. So before we do that, we're going to go back to our base, and we're going to get some of this aquamarine in production with the essence. So let's just do /home. We have this place marked. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to go through the process of getting ourselves aquamarine seeds. So what do we need for that? Well, all we need is the actual seed itself in the center, which is a tier 3 seed. We got a tier 2, so we make a tier 3, and then we make our aquamarine seed. Bingo. So now we grab ourselves a piece of dirt, and we go plant it in our ever-expanding garden clutch farm down here. And there we go. Excuse me. Wait until the first one gets in there. And there we go. We have our aquamarine essence. Now we're constantly getting it, so we don't ever have to worry about running out of that. So where do you start here? Well, you have the luminous crafting table, and I think my game froze again. Yes, it did. We're going to go back to the Astral Tome book, and we're going to look up the Starlight crafting table instead of the luminous crafting table, which is going to actually start taking a structure into account for building. And you're going to want to keep your resonating one on you, because you're going to need that when crafting with the Astral Sorcery specific crafting tables. Now I think I found constellation papers before, which is why I see 2 of them. But one of the early things that you're going to make with the luminous crafting table, or if you want to wait until you get to the next one, which is the starlight crafting table, you're going to make the telescope, which is going to help you find the rest of them. What's going on? Okay, that was weird, but alright. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is take out our astral tome again, and we're going to start with the starlight crafting altar. So as you can see, it takes, in order to make this, 1 rock crystal, it doesn't matter of the quality, impurities, and things like that, 4 marble pillars specifically, 2 chiseled marbles, and 1 bucket of liquid starlight. But then if you go to the next page, it's also going to say, hey, you need to build this. As soon as it turns the page. There we go. You need to build this 9x4x9 structure. As you can see, it consists of sooty marble, it consists of rune marble, regular marble, marble pillars, and if you look up here, it tells you all of it. And if you have it in your inventory, it will actually tell you what you need from what you have. It'll turn green. If you click on this little button right underneath it, you can show it layer by layer by layer. Oh, and I just disconnected apparently. That was weird. That was no notice. Gotta love RAM problems. Now on the note of the V crystals that I was finding, I'm not going to get into Thaumcraft quite yet. I'm waiting on 2 things to happen. One, I'm going to update to version 1.5 of Minecraft Eternal, which will be soon, I promise. The other one is our dear developer of, one of the developers of Minecraft Eternal, Emperor Dog, is going to send me a quest line that he's been working on for all of Thaumcraft. So I am looking forward to testing out his trial and errors on it. I've done a little bit of Thaumcraft. It's pretty fun getting the Crucible up and running and all that. I'm just waiting for my server screen to show that everything is back up to date. It's a little laggy right now. And if I try to reconnect too soon, I start getting the stuttering problem. There we go. I think it's all cut up now. Alright, Emperor, take care. I'll get to the sextant about it when I get there. It's one of the first things that I'm going to create. But you take care, have a good night, and yeah, thanks for all the information, of course, as always. So there's one more thing that we have to do before we can full jump into this. As you saw in one of the crafting patterns, I needed what's called a rock crystal. Where do you find those? They usually spawn down on bedrock about maybe 1 to 3 in a cluster. So they're really hard to come by, especially early on. But eventually we're going to set up an integrated dynamic system that will duplicate them for us, and then also eventually duplicating the astral crystals that are the follow-on to them. That's a little bit more of an advanced setup that we will get to later. What Emperor was saying was, once you get the sextant, prior to the telescope, you can sneak right-click in the world, and it'll place the core, which is usually the crafting altar part, the starlight crafting altar, the luminous crafting altar, the celestial crafting altar, and the starlight crafting altar, and it will show you the structure in the world, so you know exactly how much you're building, where you're building it. You can break the blocks, but you know why. But as you saw, it needs a 9 by 4 by 9 structure, so it has to be pretty large. I'm thinking just outside my base, looking at my Tinker Smeltery, I'm going to build it off to the left, and I'm going to build the first structure there. I'll claim the chunk, and we will get going. But there's one more thing that has to be done, which is collecting the rock crystals. So how do you collect the rock crystals? Well, like I said, they only spawn in 1 to 3, usually per chunk, and they only mine one at a time. And I don't mean the vein mining. I mean when you break the block, it's only going to give you 1 crystal per block. But the way to find that is at nighttime with the resonating wand. Why is my computer not catching up? I don't know why I'm having such trouble logging back in. For those who've watched previous of my streams, you know that this comes from the fact that I'm running the server and the client along with streaming all from the same computer, and the RAM usage is already very high. I don't have a second computer at the moment that I can dedicate for the server or more RAM so that this is not an issue. But I am working on that. Hopefully it won't be too much longer. But at the same time, I gotta deal with what I got for right now. I could do this in single player, yes, but at the same time, that's a lot of work to reproduce. But my computer likes to open things on its own in the background, which bogs down the remaining RAM that I do have open, so it kind of slows everything else down in the process. So I can't have a smooth stream at the moment. But my OBS works fine, stays working, and as you can see, the server is still running. It just lags a little bit. Excuse me. It's just the client that's having issues. Is it finally reconnecting? Looks like it. But also my computer likes to open things that it shouldn't in the background, which also eats up little by little everything else that's going on. I think we're back. And we've already got 34 aquamarine. So what we want to do first is go up and make ourselves a pattern for aquamarine. We won't be able to utilize it till we build a CPU, but it'll be there for when we can. And it will be important later. think the pattern is an X. No, what's the pattern? Oh, it's a cross. Come on. Oh, and I also have to change it from processing to crafting. So, there we go. So let's clear this back out and just do this. There we go. And as you can see, it creates 8 aquamarines. So we got ourselves a new pattern, and we just go and stick it over here. It's just a matter of putting it where we want it. So let's go ahead and just put it close to the top, because it doesn't have to be anywhere specific. Come on, place it down. There we go. Thank you. Alright, so what Emperor was saying is a little handy dandy trick to know how much you're building. If we go back into our little handy dandy book here, and we go back into exploration, there's the sextant and the looking glass. The sextant just takes 2 glass lenses, 2 gold ingots, and 3 of any sort of stick, which I believe we can make. That's the wrong one. We don't have the lenses, which takes starlight infusion to make. Okay, so again, where we're at right now is we need it to be nighttime, and we can put all these away for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to, at night, put this in our offhand and go looking around. But while we're waiting for that, I think right over here, this nice big ol' area is going to be a prime place for building all of our crafting altars. So we can start clearing this out while we're waiting for it to be nighttime. And get more wood while we're at it. I promise I'll make those unbreakable one of these days. But I think this is a pretty good place to get started with, right? And we can expand behind our nether portal over here if we need to. We can go over in that direction if we need to. We got plenty of options. So let's go ahead and square this off a little bit. We don't want it completely up against over here. So probably about maybe right here-ish. We'll go ahead and mark this out. So about right here. That'll be our corner. And it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And we can move it away from the wall a little bit if we wanted to. And we're probably going to need to, so let's go ahead and just go over 3 extra spaces. Okay, because it's going to eventually be longer than 9 by 9. And I'll show you why later. Okay, then we're going to take out our dirt blocks, start filling all this in. Make it nice and even and level. Attempting to anyway. Now this resonating wand doesn't have to be held in your offhand. You can just put it on your hotbar if you wanted to. It's just easier this way, and I'll show you why. All the tips and tricks of the trade, right? Okay, so now it's getting sunset. So we're going to take an empty hand. And if you look, we're going to turn off night vision. Eventually you'll see little white particles. So we're just going to walk in a random direction. Another dimension doors portal over here. We got over here that's producing light. Not beehive. Got another astral sorcery temple over here. Got ourselves a little spawner over there. Not seeing any of the particles yet, though. I'm going to actually turn my auto torching off for the time being. Ah, there we go. There's some. So as you can see, there's a whole bunch of white particles floating right here, which indicates directly below me there is a whole bunch of rock crystals. That's what this means, as long as you're holding it in the offhand. But once you get off the surface, these are going to go away, so you're not going to see them. So it's best to dig straight down. And I know, rule of Minecraft, you don't never dig straight down for various reasons. But in this case, it works, and it's usually fine to do so. Usually. Now we can turn our night vision back on, actually. We got to go all the way down to bedrock for this. But the particles will not show up in the day. Astral Sorcery is a mod that takes place completely at night to get started. And we've got all this extra stuff in here we can get out of our inventory. Come on, mouse, work with me. I put away some food that I didn't want to. Let's actually sort this by amount. Actually, this is probably not the place to do it, so I'm going to leave that for now and just continue on my trek since I got at least some of the food. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Nice little chamber here. Come back for this. Is that a spawner? It is. Oh, some nickel. How about that? We're almost there, folks. Okay, so now we're at bedrock. As you can see, as long as I'm holding the resonating wand, it shows particles in a few areas around me. So if I dig out, there we go, rock crystal ore. See, I got 2 rock crystals from that because I guess it went over one. And if I look around, it actually shows that there's some more right here. And they do give off a little bit of light when you get near them. And look, more. So we actually got lucky and got a few out of that. Now as I look around, you see there's nothing else sparkling nearby. So that means we got them all. I am, however, going to go back up here to the spawner for a minute. Monster Box. Mithril Ore. That's new. We're just going to collect a whole bunch of the stuff that's in here because it's good resources. Actually, we also want to turn back on our torch now. Alright, we're going to dump all these for now back into our storage. Depth Strider 2. Should all come in handy later. Got some fossils right here. Hey look, we actually found an emerald ore. And there's lava down there. And no, I don't need all of this, but I'm going to get a little bit more because I'm here. Stormy crystal ores. Some more garnets. And another roguelike dungeons it looks like over in that direction. Boy, this is a veritable smorgasbord of ores. There's something around me. Probably just a zombie. I just don't want him sneaking up on me is all. Boy, look at all this I'm finding down here. After I get this chest, I think that'll be enough, and I'll head on back home. Oh, what's this? Aha! This is something worth staying down here for. I'm going to take my nice scooperator out. And I am going to collect that. I think my storage is actually full back at my base. So, it's a good time to go back. Alright. So we've collected plenty of things. Yeah, potential empty slots 1. Don't know where that could be, but okay. So let's go ahead and put this back up here. Can't put that anywhere, so that can go up there. Rare farm plot, we can put that up there. Magic tether from Dungeon Tactics. A thief sword with looting 3, that'll come in handy later. Okay. So let's see what we got in here. Sand. We do not have sand up here. Do I have any more Yaba barrels? Oops. It'll just be a barrel. I do not. So let's just make one more. And let's make one more infinite capacity upgrade. Well, let's go ahead and place this down. Let's place this one just right over here. I'm going to put sand into it. And we're going to give it the upgrade. And then we're going to lock it. Okay. And now we can just take out all of our sand. Just start sticking it on there. And of course we can look through all of our barrels themselves to find any other sand we might be missing. Not the most efficient method by far, but it gets easier. Nothing in there. Stone. And as you can see, I have a buttload of crap that I probably don't really need. Okay, 1024, that's how much I have. So I have 1152, so there is still some more somewhere in one of these, but I'm not gonna fiddle around with that for the moment. But now I can put in this and these for later. Because, you know, they each have their own uses, right? Come on, catch up. Really, game? We can also take this off of our hotbar, and this can go up in here. And we can take our beehive out and put that away. Oh. And the rare farm plot. Okay. So now that we got our rock crystals, we can go ahead and start with the next pattern. And by the way, to get out of a pattern, if you don't click this arrow, you can just right click and it'll come out. So the first thing we need to do is make a light well. That takes any old rock crystal, 2 aquamarines, some rune marble, and some chiseled marble. But you actually have to have starlight, so we have to place down our altar. If we go back, the luminous crafting table, this doesn't need to be on anything. This can just be placed any old where, which is fine. So we're going to do that. take it out and we're going to go place it somewhere. It's only temporary, we're going to move it later. But for now, we're just going to put it right down there. And as you can see when we click on it, this is what it looks like. As you see, it fills up with starlight. Can't tell exactly how much it is, but at least the bar gets filled, right? That's the important part. Okay, so the first thing we want is the sextant. So luminous crafting table, glass lenses. So we need glass panes. And look, we have 2 of them right here. Then we're going to need our sextant pieces. So these can be put into our crafting grid and just drop down into our inventory. We'll need to take our crafting one back out, or the resonating one, excuse me. So the first thing we need to do, oh look, there's some rock crystals right here. We'll have to go down and get those in a moment. First we're going to put in the glass panes. And the way you craft with it is you right click the altar. Oh, aquamarine surrounded by glass panes. So we're going to need some more glass panes. We'll get 2 stacks of them. And then we can take back out our aquamarines, what we got left, which is 9. We're not going to craft all of them. But you put the aquamarines in the center, and then you divvy these up by 4, putting them in a cross. And as you can see, it lights up over there. Now we can take our resonating wand and click it, and you get a little particle effect. And you can do it again. Oh, it crafted all of them. Okay, that works. But now we can go ahead and make our sextant. Same thing. And if you look, you see the starlight drain and then quickly refill. So now we have the sextant. So there's something over in that direction, but we don't know what just quite yet. Okay, and then you just right click to get out of it. So what can you do with the sextant? Well, if we go back into here and zoom out, we can go all the way down here to our exploration tab again, and for instance the starlight crafting altar is the first thing that we're going to want to do. Oops. how we do this. There's basically a way that you can sneak right click the altar. Maybe it's the altar? Nope. As you can see, the sextant loses its power when it becomes daytime, so you can't see the constellations anymore. But we're not going to use the sextant for that. I'll figure out how to do the sneak right clicking later on. But for now, we're going to build this structure right here. So we need 8 marble pillars, 21 sooty marbles, 24 marble bricks, 28 marble arches, 8 chiseled marbles, and 1 starlight crafting altar. Well, the starlight crafting altar is right there. And if you look, these I believe are the marble arches. Okay, so we have regular marble here. Which is nothing that we need. So luckily we collected a whole bunch of this. We're just going to take all this out. And we're going to make some more sooty marble. Using regular marble. Just so we have a little bit more. And like I was saying before, when you open it up, well, it's supposed to show that you have it collected. So what we can do is we can go in here and compare. The ones with the wavy lines we do not have any of. Which are, which ones? These ones, the marble arches. Could have swore we had some marble arches. I guess not. Well, we might actually have to make some marble stone, or marble seeds. But that'll be later. We don't exactly need the marble seeds right now. Oh, they're only first level. Rather, second level. So yeah, we can get that going. Just to make sure that we don't miss losing it. Oh, we do have marble arches. Okay. So now from the structure we know that it's 9 across, which means these are 7 wide. So we're going to start by placing those. And since they're not in here, we can take that off. So we're going to go in between these two right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then 7. Okay. The next part of the design is making an X pattern with the sooty marble. It's going to be 2 in from the edge. So about right here. And we're just a couple short. But then there's a 3 by 3 pattern in the center of all sooty marble using these corners. So this is perfect. I just need more sooty marble. So we can start by planting our marble seed so that we can get plain marble. And I forgot one thing. Piece of dot. Just like before, we're going to wait until the first one pops in there for marble essence, and then we're going to lock it. Hey, look at that, 159 aquamarine already. Now if you notice, that says 4096, so that does not have an infinite upgrade on it. So we need to go make one of those as well. Well, we can do that right here though. Oh, we actually have a few made. Actually, let's just take these all out for now. Let's go ahead and put these all with grades in them. There. And the rest of those can go away. And the rest of the marble arch can go away. I'll put the sextants and the resonating wand away. And what do we need next? We need chiseled marble. So do we have chiseled marble? We do. How many do we need? Only 8. So that can go away. After the chiseled marble, we need marble arches. We already got those. We need 24 marble bricks and 8 marble pillars. So we'll just take out 32 for now. We only need 8. And 24. So we need more sooty marble, which we'll get as soon as we get the seeds grown some. Let's go out and place the rest of this. So all around the edges is regular marble bricks. and one in on each of the sides. Nope, that's not right. Yeah, 24 marble bricks. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Haha. Corners are not bricks. There we go. Okay. So this just all needs to be filled in with sooty marble, and then that needs to be moved up here. So next, we need the pillars. These are too high, and then the last 4 of the arches go on top. So 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And then on top, here we go. Now we just need some sooty marble. Now we got a lot of marble bricks. Let's use those. We're just going to make a whole stack of them. And then right in the centers, we'll place our crafting table. And just like before, you have to hit it with the resonating wand. But it also has to be dark. That is a special rifter that I am not going to deal with. Well, that put a damper on getting things started over here. thought there was one over that way. Okay. Alright. So now if we go and look at our crafting altar, it still says luminous crafting because it's daytime, and yeah, basically we don't have enough starlight power to upgrade this. Eventually we'll be able to do it in the daytime, but you have to get to a pretty high point to do so. I guess I probably could have stood on top of this and killed the rifter, but it is what it is. So, while we're waiting, now that we made that, the next thing we want is the light well, which is where our rock crystals will come in. And we're going to need a whole bunch of our aquamarines, 3 rune marbles, 2 chiseled marbles. So let's go ahead and get those ready. I know I keep going inside when I'm doing this, but I don't need to. So marble. So we need 2 runed. No, 3 runed. Chiseled, we need 2. Our rock crystals. Also note that the rock crystals will not stack because of the different properties that they have. Size, purity, and cutting. I'm not going to go over those just yet, but I am going to take these out and look at them because it does matter. Not for what I'm using it for right now, but for what I'm going to be using them for in the future. Okay, so the one that I had was actually the best one, or rather worst one, and safe to use with. Let's go ahead and just use some experience, open up this record, and tool bag. Okay. And if you remember correctly, the resonating one showed us that somewhere right around here, there's more rock crystals if we go all the way down. I don't want to really necessarily do that, at least quite yet, because of the fact that I know there's roguelike dungeons right beneath me. I can handle it, it's just a pain because I don't have my full armor yet. Eventually I'm going to take my jetpack off, and I'm going to wear my chest plate that's right here. And then I have these dark boots, which I'm going to eventually put on when I can replace my slime boots. Okay, it's getting dark, so first we're going to try and upgrade this altar. Wait, it's daytime. It's just an eclipse. But yeah, also notice that the particle effects go away in the daytime. Again, this is a mod that you have to do pretty much solely at night. But while I'm waiting, I'm going to repair my tinker's tools. Might as well, right? Now these do have 3 and 4 modifiers on them. So I could put a few reinforcements on them to make them less broken right now. Oh, and we're going to also need some aquamarine. I almost forgot about that. Here's 1. And we're going to have to go pull out 5 essences to make 1 more. For now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes, I did get the food that allows me to craft the 3 radius. But now we're just literally waiting for nighttime. And while I'm here, I'm going to fill in those 2 holes. Because, yeah. Why not? And I got, of course, this dimension doors over here. So that'll be fun to venture into. I found, 2 more. And I have one marked somewhere elsewhere. Straight north, it looks like, is another astral temple. And then we have rock crystals somewhere right beneath us. So that'll be fun to dig down to eventually. The last thing I'm going to do before it gets nighttime again, and I can continue on with this, so I'm going to go over here. This off of my hotbar, put that back on my hotbar, and I'm going to claim the chunk. Because it is not claimed yet. And I'm going to have to unclaim something somewhere. That should do it for now. I'll fix that later. There, now this is chunk loaded. And we're just waiting for it to be nighttime. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to cheat a little bit. And I'm going to set the time to night. Just to speed things along a little bit. So basically what we're waiting is for this to fill up with starlight enough that it can transform. That and for it to actually get nighttime. But you just can keep right-clicking it and it'll eventually change. It does have to fill all the way up. Or at least near all the way up. Come on, keep going. Does it little by little. Now there are things within Astral Sorcery mod itself that allows you to focus starlight and basically collect it 10 times faster. But it has to be pretty much at maximum capacity in order for it to work for this part. Looks like it has a little bit of sliver left. No, I think that's full actually. So why are you not changing? It's supposed to change. Let's read our handy dandy manual, find out what we did wrong. Okay, the structure is built correctly. That's Starlight Crafting Altar. Oh, it has to be a Starlight Crafting Altar. Okay, so we need the light well first. So we can go ahead and put this pattern in and get our first light well going. There we go. And there you go. As you see, we have our first light well. And we can just go ahead and put that for now, I'll say right here. And we're going to need ourselves a bucket. Stupid drifters, get away from me. There we go. You need a bucket. And we're going to need our aquamarines. The way to generate liquid starlight, you just right-click an aquamarine onto it. And you can time it a bottle of this, of course, if you wanted to. Each aquamarine is going to produce so much liquid starlight within it. And another good thing about the crafting altar is it retains the patterns. So I could just put all this in here and leave it. So we need 4 pillars, 2 chiseled, and our rock crystal. Or at least another rock crystal. So while this is working, let's go ahead and grab ourselves our next chiseled marble. We need 2. No. Yeah, 2. We need our arches. 4. Right? Oh, no, we need pillars, not chiseled. Okay. We need our rock crystal. Let's see, we'll take the smallest size. So that guy. And then our bucket for liquid starlight. We can go ahead and start placing our patterns in now. Because again, this will keep the pattern just make sure I got everything. Yeah. Just waiting on the bucket of liquid starlight now. It'll hold 2 buckets worth if you look in the tooltip in the upper left. But in order to get a bucket, you need 1,000. Now, one aquamarine will produce more than 2,000 sometimes. It can produce 100, it can produce, varying degrees of it. So what we're going to do later is we're going to automate this to automatically pull the liquid out whenever it fills up, so that way we don't have to worry about when it gets full. We'll just have to wait for the aquamarine to go away, and then you'll get several buckets out of it. So again, now we're waiting for enough liquid starlight. And you know it's ready because off to the right it'll show the pattern, which is this little guy up here. Now basically what this does is it extends how much this holds in general. And see, now it's working. Get all the little cool particle effects. And there you go. It says your vision expands, you learn more about attunement. And there goes our aquamarine, it just broke. As you can see, it made about a bucket and a half worth of liquid starlight. But now if we look at it, now it's bigger. Get our bucket back. But see, now notice that the bar has changed a little bit. There's this little line right here. If I'm not mistaken, that's where it's going to stop filling until it gets other things. So let's go ahead and take a look at what our new advancement entails. So we got attunement. Now we got all these new things over here. But before we get into that, we're going to go back out because there's more to do over here in exploration. Namely, we can now make infused wood. We can now make a phasic resonator, some spectral relays, the grindstone, which cannot be automated unfortunately, some nocturnal powder, some illumination powder, and cave illuminators. But more importantly, we can also make the looking glass. So just to briefly read over this, it says, despite the night sky constantly shifting all the time, certain recurring patterns and shapes appear on a regular basis. Many of these shapes bear a close resemblance to the patterns on the constellation papers found in ruined shrines. We have a few. It says, while no one is yet sure of their importance, the shapes of such constellations were important enough for observers of old to carefully mark them in great detail. It might be prudent for a scholar to also mark and familiarize themselves with these patterns in the sky. Ooh, excuse me. It says the looking glass, despite being a rather rudimentary device, goes a long way towards the process of investigating the night sky. In order to locate, trace constellations, a clear view of the night sky is absolutely necessary. Also, a proper constellation must have been discovered from the constellation papers. Once a possible pattern is found, the view angle of the telescope can be fixed by holding Shift. The pattern of stars can then be traced using the left click to draw lines carefully between them. Excuse me. As you can see, we need 4 sticks, a gold ingot, a glass lens, and any sort of a plank. And it says it needs either the luminous or the starlight crafting altar table. we got the starlight, which is the second level, and it can do everything below it as well. So let's see if we have what we need for telescope. Which is the looking glass. We do. Okay. And then for the telescope, 2 more gold ingots, another plank, 3 more sticks. So sticks, we need 3. Planks, we need 2, or no, yeah, 2. What was the last thing? Another gold ingot, maybe? No, 1 and 2 gold ingots, okay. So we're just going to skip over from one to the other and make both of these. So it is nighttime. We have enough. So we're going to first make the looking glass. Again, it has to have enough starlight, and there we go. Then we can jump straight into making the telescope. Come on, make the telescope. Oh, it's the end of night, that's why. But if you also notice, because the pattern is in here, this is telling us we need this much. So for this, we can't do it just quite yet. So how do we get more in there? Well, if we go back to our book, it actually tells us we need a phasic resonator. It says, looking up in the night sky with the naked eye is nearly impossible to discern the magnitude of starlight emitted in a given area. However, there is empirical evidence based on the luminous crafting table's reservoir that the light sent by the stars varies from position to position in the world. The light of one star can overlay with others, causing it to either amplify in strength or just vanish entirely. Altars and other structures that rely on starlight can perform at a higher capacity in an amplified star field. Finding such positions by just plainly observing the sky or an altar's reservoir at different positions seems tedious, time-consuming, and ineffective. A better solution would be a device that resonates in the light spectrum visible to the naked eye while an amplified starlight field is near. It does not replace the need for exploring to find a suitable place, but makes them easier to find by looking along the surface at night while holding the device. That's what we're holding. It's the resonating wand. This kind of does the same thing. But mainly we want these spectral relays. It says the phasic resonator can find fields of intense starlight useful for harnessing starlight energies. The problem is that moving infrastructure or traveling vast distances to harness the starlight can be impractical, as delving further into the secrets of the ancients will undoubtedly require increasing amounts of starlight. An alternative is in order until you can craft something to directly collect the starlight for yourself. So for this we need any sort of marble in the center, 2 planks on either side, 2 gold nuggets, and a glass lens. Come on. For some reason my remote is not working. I think I just disconnected again. Well, if I disconnect, folks, then at this point I will call it a stream, and I will definitely get back on tomorrow night or sometime soon to continue on with more astral sorcery. So I do hope that you all enjoyed coming out tonight to see what I had to offer, and I hope you got some good information. And also, in addition to more astral sorcery, I will get into making the mechanism machines, the infusing factories, at least the basic one. Oops. And also an enriching factory, the basic one, and tier upgrades, tier installers. And as you can see, there. No, never mind. So yeah, that's going to be a stream, folks. So I hope you all enjoyed it. I will see everybody tomorrow night or soon, and have a nice day.
You should end your thing like